good morning, and welcome to Catherine's Garden and Home, where we grow together. Well, this is the first Saturday in July. Isn't that wonderful? And my tropical plants are doing fantastic, to the point that I need to up-pot them. And because I don't want to put them directly in the ground, what I've decided to do is to put them in bigger pots that I have. So now I have these hydrangea pots that I had, endless summer hydrangea pots. I'm going to up-pot my caladiums. I believe that is, let's see, Karen Wharton, I believe. I have, and also red cardinal caladium. And the red cardinal looks like that. And the other one is a much more lighter, but it's beautiful. And that way I can just tuck them into beds and they'll be nice and full. Or I'm thinking of taking out my rose bushes that I have in the pots in the garden and putting them in there so that I can have a great pop of color. Now here you can see that these are the calla lilies, and I just filled it up with the calla lily bulbs, and I'm just waiting for the flowers to show up. But I'm so pleased to see the leaves here. I moved them from down in the garden because I want them to get more sun, and then I also want to watch them. I want to see them. I want to admire them close up. So that's where they are now. So this is the tropical time with the warm weather, the moisture. It is very humid here in Boston, and it's going to be in the 80s, and it's been raining. So my tropical plants are really enjoying this transition. And then here on the deck, I also have my basil, parsley, and cilantro. And look at how they've grown over time. Now they're starting to gain some height, and I think they like it right here on the table. And then I brought my string beans, bush beans, close up. And in just a couple of days, look at how they have grown. And you can see them. Look at that. Soon I will be harvesting, maybe today, some of these bush beans here. And this is my first harvest. This will be my first harvest of the bush beans. And I just love it here on the deck because I can look at it through my kitchen window and just see my produce. And that can determine how I'm going to, or what meal I'm going to make. I love the smell of basil. Oh, this basil is so good. I got these seeds from the American Seed Company. That's the Dollar Tree, 4 for $1 packs, and they are just filling out so well. When it gets really big and really outgrows this, what I'm going to do, so see that sweet Italian basil? That's what that is. I think I just used 1 pack, or maybe 2 packs here. 1 pack in this one, and 1 pack in this. Yeah, I like it thick, and as they grow up and grow out and outgrow the pot, then I will divide the pots so that I can have more basil. In the meantime, I like them in these white containers that I got a couple of years back. They had pansies in them, by the way. But now I'm using them for my culinary herbs. It's a beautiful thing. And then over on this side, I'm just making room for more pots. Isn't that something? And more things that are grown. I don't know if you recall, but if you hadn't, you need to go back and watch some of my other videos where I had to up-pot or transplant my spearmint that I had in a clay pot that broke, and I put it into this pot here. Well, the spearmint was looking tacky and just not giving me any vibe, any color. So I decided to take it out of that pot and to uppot and transplant my caladiums into these two pots. One, because they're the same design, and also I just want to gain some color. So I figured that if I uppot these plants with the caladium and what I do have, the impatiens and vinca, that I can then now place them in different parts of the garden and add some color to where there is no color in the garden. And now is the time, as I said, this is the time for my tropicals, those things that I spent the time in March, bulbs and crones and so forth, that I spent the time in March to uppot. And if you missed the video on that, there is a video, a premiere of this whole process and what I did. And now here is the results. Look at that. Look at how beautiful the caladium has turned out. And this one is Carolyn Wharton, looking so good here. And I put another pot, a little pot that I had in here as well. So we'll see what caladium it is, because it's either Carolyn Wharton or the red cardinal. This is the red cardinal, and I think both of them are the red cardinal. That's what you're going to see coming out of this one here. And I have another impatiens in this one. So I think that this is beautiful. By the time it fills out, it's going to look just gorgeous, just gorgeous. And then I have this container here with impatiens and nasturtiums, and that is growing as well. So as time goes on, I'll be shifting and moving things, but in the meantime, I love this opportunity to enjoy the colors of the caladium with the vinca and impatiens here on the deck. Right here, this plant is either butternut squash or my patty pan, but I think it's the butternut squash seeds that I had planted here, and I need to get them in the ground. But look at how happy they are and how big the leaves have become in just a couple of days. It was not looking like this before, but in just a couple of days here that we see that the pumpkin or butternut squash is just asking me, when are you going to plant me in the garden? Where are you going to put me? And so that is what I'm working out. Where exactly do I need to put it and give it space to grow? But in the meantime, I just like how it looks here with the other growing plants in the garden. And then I have my Japanese maple. It's doing really well and filling out, loving its life here on the deck. I have my bowl, my herb bowl, which I have been using and cutting and putting in food, my foods with fish, and they are it's just expanding. Look at that. This is the pineapple mint. I have some spearmint here, sage, oregano, thyme here, and these of course are strawberry leaves. I just decided to leave them in there just to give a different, I like leaf textures. And so in this herbal bowl we got array of different leaf textures, but herbs that are close up. And I also have rosemary here. I've been cutting them, so I need to let it grow in, and it will continue to get more bushy and more full as the season progresses. Now here I have cinnamon basil. I had some seeds. I decided to throw them out and pot it up and see what we get for this year, and I'm excited about the cinnamon basil. I do love having the herbs on the deck close by, because then it will force me to use them in cooking. Sometimes, or in the past, I had it in the kitchen herb garden area where I have some there, but I have to actually walk out of the, off the kitchen area and go down into the garden to harvest. Whereas having it here on the deck is just very convenient if I just want to add some fresh flavors from the garden. Yeah. But this is exciting. I do love having this grouping here really close by. So it reminds me of what I have, and the fact that I should go ahead and use them in cooking, because that's the next thing. And I will be having some garden to table videos for you soon as things continue to grow and as I continue to harvest, like my string beans. And I've been harvesting kale and collard greens, making salads, cucumbers, things like that. But what I'm really talking about here right now, though, are the tropical plants and the herbs. But yes, we're going to put them to use. And I want to give you an update on my lupin. First, I had them in little seedling trays. Now I've potted them into 4-inch pots. And the next step is to pot them again into these 6-inch pots. I lost one of them to some bugs because I put it out in the garden and the bugs got to them. And I caught it before they ate all of the leaves. I used some soap and I just lathered it down with soap, cleaned it out as much as I possibly could, and this is where we are right now. But I'm going to pot them and put them in these pots, and hopefully I could have at least these 5 pots survive, and that way I'll have it for next year. Because the point is that I want them to grow to a good size and put it in the garden. And next year, they will, in the spring, they will flower, because these are perennials, perennial lupin. Well, this is where I place most of the caladiums in this garden bed so far, and they are looking so good. They are loving this spot here with the impatiens and my beautiful alliums, drumstick alliums here. And it's doing exactly what I want it to do. I want the flowers to grow and cover the pots. And because I have the bulbs in the pots, buried in the pots and buried in the ground, one, it will help the bulbs to maintain their moisture. Two, when I water, I can water exactly into the pot and not think I'm hitting the roots or hitting the pot, but it allows it to keep the moisture, because as you know, as the weather continues to warm up, things are going to dry out much more quickly. So I'm hoping that this will help to keep the caladiums happy. Then I have my sun patience, and I wish I had done that with the sun patience, because they dry out really quick. They need a lot of moisture, a lot of moisture. Actually, the impatiens are doing much better, but I do love the flower of the sun impatiens, and it's working out. It's just that I have to water every single day these sun patience. And you may be asking, well, what is this? This is the garden chrysanthemums, garden moms, and they came back this year, and so I transplanted them here in this bed. I've been pinching them so that it will get bushy, and that's going to be available for the late summer, fall garden. When some of these other things die back, I will have color. And instead of having to run out and buy new garden moms, I already have some from last year into this year. It's been such a good growing season, and the weather was so mild enough in April and May that a lot of things came back. Yeah. So look at this. This is so pretty here. So this is the look that I'm looking for. That's the look that I'm looking to get again. And my zinnia is about to flower. I am so excited about that. It's going to give some height and color to this bed, different color. But right now, nothing can compare to this beautiful Casablanca lilies in this bed. It's so high up and growing and opening up. The blooms are just opening up really well here. Just a beautiful thing. This whole section of the garden is really the showstopper, because the hydrangeas, my lace cap hydrangeas that have opened up, and this bed is simple but yet spectacular. I love it, with the sun patience and just the greenery and the texture of the garden moms, the rhododendron, and the hydrangea. Just simple and beautiful. And I just love how the flowers of the hydrangea are just sitting on top of the bush and giving such a beautiful cluster of color and contrast to the pink. It is beautiful. Now this is one of the shrubs that I would love to propagate somehow, either through divisions or I don't know. I think through cuttings it will be beautiful. And then the center bed is doing very, very well here too. It's a little wilder, but it looks good with the variegated grass, and things are growing in as well here. And then of course this bed, the featured bed for this Saturday with the Casablanca lilies. And the backdrop of the hydrangeas back there are holding up. The flowers are much more fuller, that when it rains it just causes them to flop over, but it is still very beautiful. And they look so good with the lilies. I do have a planting here of the hydrangeas close up, and they are just looking very beautiful. Now I see some new growth here, and I think that is from new leaves or new plantings that are coming up. Yeah, they're going to, because they're endless summer, so they do start to grow flowers on new wood. So I believe that is a piece of new wood there. I see two of them, right there and right there. Some people have said that their mop heads aren't doing well, that the heat has really affected them, but I can't complain at all that mine are doing just fine. I have some in a deeper shade covered from the trees, but this one here is more in the sun. It gets a lot more sun and it is doing well. It looks great. I have an endless summer here. This one I propagated. This is Bridal Bouquet, and it's starting to take on that beautiful baby blue color here. Very, very dainty. And I think it's just loving it here in this bed. That this is the mother plant of that endless summer Bridal Bouquet. And they are just getting bigger and bigger. The blooms are beautiful. And this is the mother plant that I propagated the others from. Look at this. That is so pretty. I just love how this looks with the Arbor Vitae, which is huge. And Also, at its feet are the beautiful hosta. I don't know the name of this hosta, but it is gorgeous. And the geraniums and fern. This corner is just very, very beautiful. Now I have here this other hydrangea. This is a mop head hydrangea, and this was given to me by my mother. She had a cutting. Someone given her a cutting of the flower, and she put it in water and it started rooting. And she gave me the cutting and I planted it in the ground here. And this year, wow, this has definitely been the year for hydrangeas. Look at that color. Look at that bloom. It's a really good size. You can see it's a really good size bloom. And this is how it looks too. As it gets deeper in color, I like this right here. You can see the different color variations as the blooms age. You have the deeper colored purple, and it starts off, I like it like this, when it just starts with a little cream and that color, and then it gets really rich here with more of a reddish tint, and then a deep, deep purple. But then that's how the cluster begins. It's so pretty. One of the plants that is giving a lot of fragrance in the garden is this native milkweed that the bees and the butterflies love. Look at the flower. It's so pretty, and also it's so fragrant. And it just comes back year after year. It just settles here. I also have my mint right here, the apple mint, which is holding it up. But yeah, the fragrance in the garden between the lily and this milkweed, absolutely fragrant. And it gives me my summer smell in the garden, the fragrance. It's just intoxicating. For the last month, this is where I have been keeping my caladiums here, and now I'm left with 2 pots. I have to decide what I want to do with these 2. This, of course, is the Caroline Wharton caladium, and for right now I'm just letting them sit there until I can figure out what I want to do with it next. I just also want to give you an update on my tropicals. Since we were talking about initially about the caladiums, yeah, so that's what they look like here. But then I also have in this same area my elephant ear. Look at that. These are saved tubers from 2 years ago. I put them out, and I've been saving the tubers. I got the bulbs from Costco, and what a great investment. This takes a little time and effort to store them, which is easy, and then to take them out at the right time, pot them up. I had these pots here. You could actually see the tuber where it's coming out of. And look at that. They love this corner. I also have caladium. And I say to my caladium, not caladiums, cannas, sorry. This is canna. It's elephant ear and caladiums. I found that the caladiums are harder to save. I've had a more difficult time trying to save the caladiums, but it was much more easier to save the tubers of the elephant ear and of the canna. And they are loving this corner. This corner also I have coming up some cleome. These cleome self-seeded here from last year, and I love when plants give me volunteers and they plant themselves right in the perfect spot, and this is going to be so beautiful. And then this is the forget-me-not, and this seed is also from a Dollar Tree seed pack from last year. So this corner is going to be a corner to highlight throughout the season, the growing season. And I also have the bee balm that is opening up here that I planted. And I have been cutting this bee balm for tea, and now they've decided to flower. So that's why this hedge is so thick and beautiful. You're going to get a lot of good color here. Another one of my cannas that I saved from last year. I got the canna from Costco. I think this is tiger eye, or tiger leaf, something like that canna. But it's really beautiful. I love it for the leaves. It's looking great. It's going to fill out this area here near my hydrangea. This hydrangea is a little limelight hydrangea from Proven Winners. So I think they look good together. And they're going to fill this corner really, really nicely. Thank you for joining me here at Catherine's Garden and Home on this Saturday morning as I feature my caladiums and tropical plants, but just how the garden is just setting up for this summer, and also thank you for being here as we enjoy my Casablanca lilies, for they're only here for a moment, this time in July. If you have not subscribed to Catherine's Garden and Home, go ahead and like and subscribe for more videos. Thank you to Hello and welcome to Catherine's Garden and Home. It is so nice to have you here with me. We are in the week of July, the second week, and we've just ended it and we're heading into the third week in July. And so many things are blooming in the garden. The drumstick allium are blooming and they are getting so big and beautiful, and the bees are just loving them. The alliums add height and some color to this border, just making it interesting, along with the caladium that I placed there. They are all coming together to form a beautiful display. The oriental lilies are adding new color, height, and some excitement to the garden. I love these stargazer lilies. They are so beautiful, and they keep coming back. Even though different things happen to them, they still come back and bloom. And this has been the year for my oriental lilies. I love the volunteer sunflowers. They are so beautiful, and they are multi-headed here. Sunflowers are just so filled of beauty and joy and happiness. Look at them with the bee balm, just making this front garden come alive with bee activity, and the pollinators, all of them are just loving this area of the garden. And I'm so glad that I'm able to add some sunshine with my sunflowers right here in this bed. Here I have my stargazer lilies too that I planted, and they were getting smothered by everything and not really producing flowers or developing that well. But this year, this is the best that they've ever looked. Making me want to buy more lilies next year and plant more stargazer lilies, because this is just a beautiful, beautiful lily. And I have a couple more here to go, so I'll be enjoying the stargazer lilies. And it's good to know the stargazer coincides with the Casablanca, but will last longer. Yeah, so it's like a succession of blooms with the lilies. Let's just revel in the beauty of the stargazer lily. Speaking of lilies, I have this lily patch right here of these beautiful lilies that have opened up here in this bed, and I planted these from I got these bulbs from Costco's, and I planted them a long time ago. One of my early bulbs, and they have returned, and they look strong and healthy and good and absolutely pretty. They almost look like a stargazer lily, but they're not. It's a different type. I'll have to look at my old videos to see what the name of it is. But if you go back, you could see that like 5 or 6 years ago, I planted these bulbs here, and now they're really showing up very beautifully in the garden. Beautiful Casablanca lilies are fading, but it is so beautiful. There's still, I think, one bloom left at the top of there. You could see one more to open up, but pretty much they are done. But they just did very well here, and they just look really, really good. Now, in this pot, I took out the rose bush and I put the caladium in the pot here, and they are starting to really leaf out. And so when the lilies are finished, we will have red. We'll have some great red color from the caladium in the pot. It's just one little accent. It's going to be pretty. My husband just gave the garden a beautiful quick cut, and it is looking good. And now it is really raining, and I am so satisfied. I'm so glad that we did it just in time so that the grass can enjoy this moisture, and everything is looking good. They're going to get a double dose. So the garden got watered by me, but now Mother Nature is watering my garden, and I am so thrilled with that, because now it will get the real rain, the real moisture, the real deal that it needs so that it can thrive. As you can see here, my lilies are fading, but they have been spectacular. And I also cut back this rose bush here, and I'm giving the bed some more air so that it can grow and the zinnias can get the sunlight that they need. But what I really wanted to show you was my hydrangea hedge, that I hadn't watered it, and there wasn't any water back here, and the shrubs just started to wilt. You could see that they were wilting because the rain hadn't reached back here. There was no moisture. But what I did notice, that some of the hydrangeas that I have here, the more old-fashioned ones, they're a little bit more durable than this Nico Blue one here. So with this rain, I'm underneath the trees right now, underneath the oak trees, and it's just barely sprinkling back here, even though it's raining fairly heavy. So I'm glad that I did come and give them some water, that I watered the garden. But what I'm speaking of is like this hydrangea right here. is different. It's blue, but it's different. It's a different leaf, a much more bigger leaf than the other hydrangeas. And it seemed to be able to stand the dryness, the lack of rain much more better than that other one. So that's something good to know. And even with this is a different type of hydrangea here. This one is a lace cap hydrangea, and you can see that the leaves look much more healthier than this one, which is the Nico Blue Endless Summer. And I had to run out and actually water these two that I got from Costco recently, and they perked up, but they need a lot of water. And then here is another one of the lace cap, and you can see how good this one is looking. It withstood that dryness. So I think I want to propagate this one, even though, you know, it needs really good conditions to bloom. Like this year has been just fantastic. Look at all the blooms on this. But I do like how it looks, and I'm thankful. I'm thankful for the rain that is coming now to water these beautiful blooms. Isn't that pretty? What a beautiful color. Saturday morning, July 13th. Good morning, and welcome to Catherine's Garden and Home, where we grow together. Well, this is a Saturday morning, and I had anticipated rain during the night or the early morning hours, but it did not come. But it looks like it wants to come now, which is great. But I needed to water the garden because it has been very dry. It hasn't rained like in the last couple of days. And if it did rain, it's just like a sprinkling, nothing to really get excited about, especially with my hydrangeas. So I have been watering them down, and I just decided to come on and give you a look at what the garden looks like. And here on the deck, I have rearranged the plantings because I don't know if you noticed here, but my calla lilies, they were starting to fry because the temperatures have been in the 90s, 80s, low 90s. And so I've given them a more shaded area here. And yeah, it is raining. It is a good thing. And I'm very excited about that.